What is up, everybody? This is the Film Physician, and today I'm going to be doing a collab video with my very good friend, Nicholas Rogers, who also has his own YouTube channel. Nicholas, say hi to the audience.
Hola, ¿cómo estás? Sí, I don't speak Spanish. Uh,
Nicholas makes content similar to mine, like he does some movie reviews, he does some music videos as well. He has a really cool channel. I recommend that you go check it out. I'll have his link down in the description. Yeah, recently when I got into YouTube, I stumbled upon Nick on Snapchat. We were friends from school, and I remember one time, I forgot how it was, I think it was on like a YOLO. I sent you,
it might have been, yeah.
I was like, promote my channel. It was wink, wink, nudge, nudge, and then you were like, oh, I have a channel. I'm like, really? And I checked out your videos. I was like, damn, nice channel.
Damn. Nice channel, man. It's like going up to somebody and being like, nice cock.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. I was like, yeah.
I mean, but yeah, no, we met through school. We've known each other for a couple years, and I didn't know you had a channel either, and I was stoked to see that you're uploading very consistently and content that I really enjoyed.
Thanks, man. That really
So,
means a lot. You say that.
yeah, so this collaboration was like destined to happen. The stars aligned on a certain day, and here we are.
Yeah. And we're going to be talking about one of the greatest, and I would say the greatest superhero film of all time. Nicholas, if you wouldn't.
The Dark, The Dark Knight.
Yes. The Dark Knight
Yeah,
is by far one of my favorite films. I'm pretty sure it's one of your favorite films as well.
it's
Um,
up there. Yeah.
in my one of my past videos, I was listing cinematic masterpieces, and Dark Knight was one of them, and I truly stand by that statement. Dark Knight is a
Oh yeah.
cinematic masterpiece. I absolutely love it, and we're gonna be talking about it and why we like it. So,
Yeah. Dark Knight is a cinematic masterpiece in every sense of the word. From the shot composition to the writing to the directing by Christopher Nolan, everything, even the score, is just absolutely like amazing. It's integral to this film's success and this film's like quality. It's just it everything about it. The more you dissect it, the more you just appreciate it for how well these moving parts all correlate into one giant like odyssey of a film in a way.
yeah. I really like that in films when you can go back and like every time you rewatch it, you learn something new you didn't see the first time.
Yeah.
I got that with Infinity War, also with this film. Same thing with this film. I just like every time I go back and watch it, I realize different things that I didn't notice before. It's so detailed. It's just so perfect. I'm usually when I'm watching a film, there's at least a couple times where I get like a little cringe moment where I'm like, I would have changed that, or that's dumb, or why would they do that? That was a bad take, or whatever. But this was a film I literally could not find anything that upset me. Everything flew nicely. It was a symphony. I just loved it.
Yeah, it's like with this movie, it was really the movie that got me invested into filmmaking along with Avengers. Those two films really like opened my eyes to the possibilities of film and what you can do within that space. And like seeing The Dark Knight for the first time is a groundbreaking experience. It is just something that is it's like so real, it's so just exhilarating, and it's
Visceral.
just visceral, yeah, raw, very just chaotic, and it's like something that like will introduce a lot of people to like quality filmmaking.
Hmm. I totally
It
agree.
Yeah, it's like a film that is so close to my heart for so many reasons, and one of the reasons I do want to talk about like a little in depth here is Heath Ledger's groundbreaking performance as the Joker.
Yeah. I mean, he took the character of the Joker to like another plane above the Joker's character and where it was at. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
I feel like one of the big reasons why when people ask me why is Heath Ledger's Joker the best Joker, I almost say because he isn't the Joker. He's above the Joker as a character. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's just the way I loved how he's kind of like a terrorist. We never seen like a terrorist like this in a depicted in this way in like a superhero film. You know what I mean? Uh,
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, like, yeah, he holds people hostage. I mean, he like threatens to blow up hospitals and stuff like that. I mean, everything he's doing, it's like a grand scale plan. You know what I mean? It's really upping the ante.
It really does. And it's like he's such an unpredictable character. So everyone is on the edge of their seats, like wondering how like a scene is gonna unfold with him in it. And Heath Ledger's performance like changed superhero movies in the way of how like they address their villain because his was just so unhinged, chaotic, and masterfully put together that it really set the bar for the longest time. And I think it still has it. Like I think it's still like the greatest comic book villain out there to this
Yeah,
day.
man. Nothing has came close. Like the only thing I can think of recent years that came close was maybe Thanos, but like not even
Hmm.
that.
Yeah, I can agree with that. It's like Thanos, he's much more of a theatrical, like big baddie, kind of like another Darth Vader, but the Joker is a true menace. He really is like the pure embodiment of chaos. And like back on the whole thing where it's like he's acting like a terrorist, like there's a theory going around about him possibly being like an Iraqi veteran and him like because like he knows like all the formation drills when he's like trying to assassinate Gordon. It's like just a really complex theory that like puts a lot into perspective.
Yeah, man. I was breathtaking after watching Ledger's performance. I really like I sat there at the end of like the film. I was like who was the good guy there? I was just like like after all that I was like I don't know. There's like some things that the Joker actually makes you look back and like when he says like when I like no one panics when things go according to plan. You know what I mean? If a truck full of soldiers gets blown up, well they're soldiers. You know what I mean? They were they knew what they were signing up for. Or if a game baner gets shot, well he's a game baner, so you're fine if him being died. But you say one little mare is gonna die. Well, that's someone who's not supposed to die, so then everyone loses their mind. They're just like I really like had that like oh shit moment where I thought like wow, he's actually
And it's
going
kind of
very
like
intense.
and it kind of like correlates with what's going on in modern times, which I don't want to go into like politics, but you know what I'm talking about.
Mhm. I
Yeah,
definitely
so
get what you're
like
saying.
so it's like really like is a message that is like honestly a lot more poignant nowadays than it was back then, which is kind of scary to think about.
Mhm.
Because like the whole like 9/11 like Al Qaeda situation was bad, like with terrorism in the 2000s. But for it to escalate as quickly as it did throughout the 2010s and like early 2020s, it's just and how it just shows that this film has like staying power, and it was like ahead of the curve, for lack of a better term.
Yeah,
But
man. I love when
so that
movies play on like public events and use that to fuel, their fear. Especially like it reminds me of like a film like 1978 Halloween. Like America was just getting out of the was starting to get out of the Vietnam War, and so when soldiers were coming home, everybody wanted to be with their families and stay indoors because they felt like if they were in their home, they were safe. So what Carpenter did, he went and took Michael Myers and brought him into the home to make you feel not even safe at your own home. I think like Dark Knight does that a lot too. This movie was made in 2004, right? Or
2008 is when it came out.
2008, and I think it was just a phenomenal job of them playing off of fear of terrorism into their movie. It's just
Yeah,
the Joker nails that. I mean,
it's like the comic book writers knew what they were doing, and Heath Ledger knew what he was doing with this performance because like he took like aspects of from the comics and aspects from the previous iterations film from the films and just brings it to a whole different height
mm-hmm,
and makes it something that is timeless.
definitely is timeless. I 100% would agree with that.
Yeah, see, I can talk about his character forever, but I feel like we should move on because
I
like
I was just
we'd be here
thinking
for
that.
hours.
Yeah.
We'd be here for hours. I can dissect this character all day. But one other thing that I absolutely love is like for a lot of people who do not know, I'm really into music, but the score of this film is just awesome.
Yeah, yeah, man. People don't realize how important a score can be to
Yeah.
to movies. I mean, it goes hand in hand with one another. I mean, people just don't understand. Like, if you were to go some back, if you go back to like specific scenes in movie history and take out the music, and like replace it with something inappropriate music, it just destroys the scene. You know what I mean? Like imagine if like ending of episode 5, you have that great score. It's called, I think it's called The Rebels Flee, and they're like, you see him getting his fake arm, and they look off into the galaxy with Han and Chewie leaving. Imagine if you took that music out. I tried this, and putting in some like other music, doesn't matter what, it just didn't work, and like the scene lost all. It severely took away. So people just don't understand how important music is to the movies.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, well, while I would not listen to the Dark Knight score like on its own in its entirety, it just is a necessary backbone that establishes the tone of a certain scene or like a certain like set of scenes. It is just essential for the film because it just adds this extra like what's texture to the film that if it was taken away or if it was like handled by like another producer, like for example, it's Danny Elfman, like it would like just imagine like the original 1989 Batman films, like music and composition on The Dark Knight. It would not fit because those are both tonally completely different films.
Mm-hmm.
Eh, but like, because like what I'm trying to say basically is the score is unique to its film only, and it cannot be used in any different like situation because it would be inappropriate for it. It is Batman all the way through. It is The Dark Knight.
Mm-hmm. I definitely agree. How about our main, I don't even want to say our protagonist. I'm still thinking about who the protagonist in the film is. But our main character, Batman. I mean, we've seen a lot of Batman iterations in the past.
Yeah,
Uh, we've seen Michael Keaton's. We've seen Val Kilmer. We've seen Clooney's. I mean, we've seen a lot of Batmans,
seen a lot of Batmans.
and this one was just by far the best. I mean,
Best film Batman. I mean, I'm just saying Kevin Conroy in the animated series. Ooh.
yeah, that is
Pretty
true.
good.
But if we're talking films, yeah, this
Yeah,
is
if we're talking films, then yeah, obviously.
I mean, it's just like
Yeah,
I feel like he just encapsulates Batman so perfectly because he when he's being Bruce Wayne, he acts like a badass man, and he really feels
yeah,
like when he's on the boat with with the whole Russian ballet team, and he has that look, he just like, yeah, man, he feels Bruce Wayne should be a badass like this. You know what I mean? I felt like in Michael Keaton's the first two, Bruce Wayne was just kind of a wimp almost. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And I get that's like the
Yeah.
height is identity, but it's just like I don't know. You got to remember with these secret identity characters like Spider-Man or Batman, when you cast an actor, you're not just casting Spider-Man or Batman. You're also casting Peter Parker and Bruce Wayne.
Exactly, exactly.
Hmm.
You have to like do like a double like casting basically to make sure that they fit both parts.
Absolutely true. I 100% agree. It was because like well, I know it's a little sidetracked, but I remember when people were asking me which one I liked better, Maguire or Garfield's Spider-Man. I was like, well, Maguire is a better Peter Parker by a long shot, because
Yeah,
he's such a dopey nerd. You know what I mean, he fits it perfectly. But like Garfield is a much better Spider-Man because Garfield is like is kind of slick, good looking, and he's got that cocky air to him. Like he makes a great Spider-Man, but he's a terrible Peter Parker because
oh yeah, definitely.
yeah. But anyway, back to
He's not a
Batman.
convincing nerd.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, back to Batman. Batman. Christian Bale, his performance of Batman was really good. Do you think it'll be topped by Robert Pattinson?
Um, I don't like to deal in absolutes, so I will hold out a sliver of hope, but uh, I doubt it. I feel like all the stars aligned for the Dark Knight, and it's going to be hard for anything to top that. Um,
I can see that.
Another thing I think that I really like about this movie in particular is the type of Joker we get. Now, for the audience, for those of you who don't know, if you look back at comics, there's actually three different types of Jokers because there was three ages of comics. There was the Golden Age, the Silver Age, and then the Bronze and Modern Age. And in the Golden Age, we had a Joker, the Silver Age, and we had a Joker, and they're all three different Jokers. And this was the first time we had gotten a Bronze slash Modern Age Joker on the big screen, and that was like really big
Yeah.
because everyone was like, why is the Joker going insane? Like when he says, I'm not gonna kill you, Batman. What would I do without you? Go back to ripping off mob dealers? It's like I love that because I think it's a big yin and yang sort of thing between the Joker and Batman.
Yeah.
I mean, the
Exactly.
joke is like iron sharpens iron. Batman is and Joker is contrasting personalities, but yet similar, scenarios. Really, you know, they sharpen each other and to make each other better characters, and I just love that.
Yeah, one can't be without the other. Light can't be without the dark, you know?
Yep, perfectly
It's
balanced as all things should be.
dear God. But no, I definitely agree with that. I know about the whole phases of Joker and everything, and I definitely feel like that approaching it like that, yeah, for like it being the first modern age Joker, it was definitely the best portrayal it could have been.
Hmm.
And another thing I want to just bring up in general is like the directing from Christopher Nolan.
Yeah,
It's
man.
like he is a masterclass in filmmaking, and I will always stand that. He was like my first like director love.
Yeah, man.
Like he was like the first ever like director that I fell in like head over heels for his like entire filmography. Like from Memento to like The Prestige, all three Batman films I really enjoyed. Interstellar was great in my opinion. I just love this guy's catalog.
Yeah, man. He's
So
certainly a talented director. I think that first scene, just like is one of the strokes of his directing genius. I mean, because you can describe it pretty easily. Joker goes,
oh, yeah,
robs a bank, gets away. But like the
yeah,
the point of a director is to really make that interesting for the audience to watch and to give it a visual
exactly,
style. Like you ever
exactly.
remember A New Hope when you have the Empire and the rebels and the Empire is chasing the rebels? Well, that first scene is actually like directing gold because not you could just say the rebels are being chased by the Empire, but like the visuals tell us everything we need to know. I mean, the rebels
Exactly.
are so small and ill-equipped, but like the Empire is so big, and like the low angle implies dominance, and like the long ship represents the long reach of the Empire. I think the Red Letter Media went deep into that, talking about that. And I was just like, yes, that's exactly right. I mean, in this first scene for Dark Knight, we get everything we need to know by just the visuals. You know what I mean?
Yeah, didn't Red Letter Media also do like a like review of the Phantom Menace that was like longer than the movie itself?
Yeah. That's exactly what I'm going back to. Yeah, it's just that though. If you think about it, those reviews, those are what started the hating on the prequels. Those are what really
Oh,
kickstarted it.
oh my gosh, yeah, because I just think back to that. I'm just like, wow, if you hate a movie so much that it's longer than its own runtime, that's an accomplishment.
Oh,
Like,
that reminds me to when Battlefront 2 what came out and they had the crappy pay to win microtransaction system and people were like talking about it's so funny because the grind to get a character or unlock a hero is longer than the actual campaign. And it's just like, are you kidding me?
bruh. But yeah, it's like with the composition of like each scene, Christopher Nolan does a great job in making it visually interesting and captivating story wise, which is like a thing that not a lot of directors can really truly do.
Yeah, like the one scene where like a bunch of stuff is going down. Like the one guy gets poisoned by the Joker. The Joker crashes the party where whatchamacallit they're all at, and the I think she's a judge. She gets blown up in the car. Like that
Yeah,
sequence of events. Like man, I felt first time I watched this, and then when I still watch it, my heart is pounding, man. Like I'm watching the movie, and I'm still feeling the suspense of that scene. You know what I mean? Of like
yeah,
everything
yeah.
coming together. Oh my gosh.
I completely understand. The movie's a thrill ride, like front to back. It like once the like you hear like the first like I think it's a cello that plays that opening note of the film.
Oh my gosh,
But like
yeah.
once you hear like that, it's like it's like oh
Yeah, man. That when I hear that sound, man, the endorphins start going in my head, and I'm just like, oh yeah, Dark Knight. That's Dark Knight if I've ever heard it.
it It's like the title sequence for Lord of the Rings. Like the it's like it has like the same
Yeah.
emotion to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It like music's so important. Music is so important to film. Like
Mm-hmm.
gosh, but yeah, there are so many other factors as well. Like the cinematography, like they actually used IMAX cameras for the action scenes of the film and actual film for like the regular dialogue scenes. While that could be kind of distracting with like the ratio changes, it also adds this like aspect where it's like grand, you
Mm-hmm.
know?
Yeah.
It's a weird decision, definitely, but I respect Nolan for it just because he really wants to like get the best experience out of the viewer.
Mm-hmm.
And like what else was there? The writers did such a great job crafting a magnificent script.
Yeah, man. I mean, like every piece of dialogue, every event, it all like falls perfectly together. Like, it's the domino effect in movies. You know what I mean? It should be when you're going through the plot, it should feel like one domino knocks down the other in the causality
Yeah,
relationship. And this movie nails that. I mean, it's amazing.
it truly is. And like the supporting cast of characters from like Morgan Freeman, I forgot his name for a second. Yeah, from like Morgan Freeman to Gary Oldman to Michael Caine, it just everything is so great. There's not even like one performance that I would call bad.
Yeah.
Like, and to even ensure that, they had to recast Rachel to Maggie Gyllenhaal just to make sure there wouldn't be a bad performance.
Go big or go
Yeah,
home, man.
exactly. Which that could be distracting at first, but like as a standalone film, it works just fine. Oh, and like who also gets overshadowed is Aaron Eckhart as Two Face or Harvey Dent.
Yeah, man. That's a really great falling from grace story. I think we talked about it in our English class, where like a tragic hero.
Yeah,
He's a tragic hero, man. He starts out at the top. He's got the girlfriend who's gonna ask out to be a wife. He's doing really good at his job, being district attorney. I mean, he's got everything going for
exactly.
him, and his fall from grace. It's so tragic, and you so feel for him. You know what I mean? Because you like Harvey
Yeah,
Dent, man. You love him in this film, but to see his fall is just like it's heartbreaking. And the way that they're able to make you feel connected to that guy, even though he's a made up character, and his nothing that happens to him affects you literally, but still makes you feel stuff. I mean, that's just the whole point of it all, and they just nailed that perfectly.
yeah. My man's a good King Creon representation. But
Don't make me pull out the
yeah,
tally voice.
don't even try me.
uh,
but but it's like yeah, no, his entire arc is the tragic hero arc, like you said. It perfectly encapsulates that like feeling of hopelessness that he has like in the 2 hour runtime.
mm-hmm.
It's absolutely astounding. It's like I don't know what else to say about this film besides that it's amazing. I really don't. It's just like this film takes all of its moving parts, its ensemble cast, its gorgeous cinematography, its amazing script, its awesome directing, and just puts it into this like beast of a film
Mm-hmm.
that just is groundbreaking to this day.
Yeah, man, and like I'm a Marvel guy. I love Marvel. I think Marvel is one of the greatest things to ever happen to superhero movies. But even though as much as I love Marvel, no Marvel film, no matter how great some of them are, can top The Dark Knight and what it was able to do.
Yeah, it's like the MCU will always be more consistent with its type like quality of films, but gotta admit the biggest gem came from DC.
It is true. And me, you gotta think as Batman fans. I don't know about you or maybe other people, but I really thought that the first Tim Burton Batman, I think it was 1997. I'm gonna say, where he
89.
89. Damn, you keep making those mistakes. When I watched that like first in like my chronological order. I watched them in chronological order, and I was like, I watched that. I was like, I don't think are they gonna be able to top a Batman movie going to be able to top that? And then I got to this film, and I was just like, hell yes, they did. You know what I mean? They 100% knocked it out of the park, and it's untouchable to this day.
And they haven't topped it since.
Hmm.
Maybe Robert Pattinson might. He did really good in The Lighthouse.
You know what? I will hold out hope, my friend. I will hold out hope. I
I will hold up hope too.
I got the hope in my hand right now. Okay, it's not really hope. It's just a goldfish crackers box. But um, so we're gonna end this video here right around now. We're at 25 minutes. So like I said before, if you haven't checked out Nicholas Rogers' channel, I'm gonna have a link to it in the description. I highly recommend that you go and check that out. And remember, if
Well,
you want to see more collab videos, likes, comment, subscribe. And I just want to thank you, Nicholas, for doing this and putting up with me, because the first time we tried to do this, I messed up the microphone.
make sure it's not messed up this time. I swear.
I promise. Hand to God.
Yeah, no, I really enjoyed this. I always love doing stuff like this because I never really get to talk about films too much anymore because my channel is mainly music based now.
Hmm.
So anytime I get to talk about film, I will always gravitate toward that because that was my first love when it came to like media. It was film. I wanted to be a director, and then I found music, and I was like, oh shit, here we go. So yeah.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, thank you for having me, Mr. Film Physician.
My pleasure.